All right, well, I want to give you guys a quick rundown on the McDonald's, the moving average convergence divergence indicator that I always have at the bottom of my screen here. I prefer this because I trade options and it's the most useful indicator to me. There is no one set of indicators anyone has to use. The MACD is one that typically comes down to personal preference, noticing patterns that you like and you see over time from watching it. Uh, and it's very simple to read for the most part. You got your MACD line, the yellow line. You got your signal line, which is the blue line. Then you have the histogram, which is all the pretty little bars here. Uh, which, when you see some shit like this, that's fucking nefarious. That's shorting, crazy shit happening there. It's insane. When you see it, trending upward, and then all of a sudden it just, well, forget the downside of it. That's typically indicative of some bullshit that's going on. Doesn't happen a lot. You don't see the MACD, the histogram move like that, or these lines have little fucking nipples in them like this. It's usually smooth valleys and peaks for the most part. But when the MACD line crosses over the signal line, it typically means you're heading towards an uptrend in the price, and that's the way it's been heading. And the histogram also represents that. There's been more buying pressure, it's moving upward. And then when the MACD line crosses downward over the signal line and drops under it, it usually signals selling pressure, a loss of interest in the stock. It's once you watch it for a while, if you're an options trader, you can get a pretty good sense, especially like in the morning when the bell rings, what it's looking like when there's a bunch of fighting pressure going on and it's hard to tell from looking directly at the candlesticks. You can look at the MACD and see if it looks like buying pressure is overwhelming the selling pressure at that moment, or if it's straight buying pressure because the MACD line will cross over the signal line like it did here very, very quickly. But then, of course, this crazy shit happened. I personally don't wait, but that's me. That's my risk tolerance that speaks to that. A lot of people wait until they see that cross before they decide, okay, this is a spot where I'm going to buy the stock or I'm going to buy options. I like to catch it when it starts flattening out from the downtrend. And, if you can catch it here, you're a beast. I try to catch it before it curves up. But you can get fucked up. Like here, it looks like it's stopping and heading up and flattening out, but it wasn't quite done. Still had a little more selling to do. So the MACD is really not hard to read at all. Yellow line crosses over the blue line going up. It signals buying pressure and a trend upward in the stock. If it crosses going down, it signals selling pressure in the stock. So that's pretty much how you read the MACD. It's not hard, not at all. RSI, I know the vast majority of you should already know, relative strength index, just signals, whether it's oversold or overbought. I know you've seen, especially Mac Cores, a million times. They're like, oh yeah, the RSI is hot, it's got to cool off, don't freak out. You say that shit all the time back in May. Get on my fucking nerves. Get on my nerves. Oh, it's hot, it's got to cool off. Don't freak out. We know it's going to sell a little bit, whatever. And that's typically what happens. It does. When it crosses over into the upper band and reaches the tippy top, you can pretty much guarantee yourself it's going to start selling off a little bit, hopefully a little bit, and then reverse trend back up. But, if you learn how to use these in conjunction with each other, you can catch a pretty good gauge of what the stock is doing and what the trend says it's going to do, and you can make better investment decisions for yourself. Because like right here, the RSI was hot, it needed to cool off, but the MACD said, hey, this shit's dropping quick. it ain't about to reverse trend and keep on, going up with buying pressure. It's people are selling, and you can know to get out or not to buy or whatever the case may be. But here, where it got close to the top and started cooling off, the MACD's still above the signal line. It's still signaling an upward trend. So it may bounce and continue that way, or it may continue downward. You see the histogram's losing a little bit of pressure, and this is tightening. It's getting closer together, so it may signal a downward trend upcoming, but not always. That's why it's good to use the two in conjunction with each other. And I might as well, where are we at, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, yeah, whatever. VWAP's pretty easy. This is self-explanatory. The volume weighted average price. It tells you 37.36 up here in the corner here. So that means everybody at this point has bought this stock at an average price of 37.36. So if you're day trading or you're just looking for a good deal, you want to be buying under this line. That means you're getting the best deal, better deal than everybody else. That's where you want it to be when you're buying, underneath that line. And then obviously anything over the line, if you're selling, you're, still making a profit there, getting a better deal than the other people. That's kind of how it is. You want to sell over the VWAP, you want to buy under the VWAP. It's very, very easy to understand. That's pretty much it. Like, those are simple indicators, simple to use to help you study and gauge a stock. And now that they actually have some sort of relevance, obviously, again, it's getting back to normal, because this was the shit it would do all the time. It would signal an uptrend, and then you would get nothing. You'd get these two bars that are on the histogram here looking like buying pressure's coming in, then all of a sudden it just dies and everything crashes, which, whatever happens when a stock gets shorted. But that used to be all you see in these indicators. Like, there was no way to use TA or any of these indicators to gauge what the fuck this stock was going to do. So now that that's getting back to normal, I feel like I should at least explain the ones that I use. Like I said, I don't really use the VWAP. That's more for people buying and selling actual stock. All I need is the VWAP, or the MACD and the RSI, pretty much. So hopefully you got a better understanding of how those work. Again, RSI is a relative strength index, but it does not always mean just because it comes to the top, it's going to tank all the way, or it's going to reverse. You just have to keep an eye on it, because obviously here it got close but didn't tank. You have to use the MACD in conjunction with it to really kind of tell what trend is coming up, to know when to get in, when to get out, whatever the case may be. And let's see, I'm going to watch this MACD, see if it starts spreading back out again. So, and yellow dot line, MACD, crosses over the blue heading up. You're looking at an uptrend in buying pressure. Crosses back over the signal line heading down, you're looking at selling pressure and a downtrend upcoming. So hopefully that helps you guys a little bit.